If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's completely free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can also make money from your podcasts with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Cat's already bumping around.
Funky sounds. I promised myself I wasn't going to do it again. The bam at the end, I promised. I promised. Okay, world, we're not going to do episodes again. I'll probably say that till the day I die because we don't even know. This is, again, another week where we're doing it on a Sunday before it has to come out Monday. Yep. So you guys are getting the freshest information off the top of my head.
Noggin.
Which, I don't even know what it was. So I was told, I was all excited. So we just did a lesson, so we're going to be tired too.
Yeah,
because
my first group lesson.
Yeah, we just did a group lesson with the Hunter girls for the national team. But I was told I was somebody's spirit animal this week.
Oh my God.
My horrible attitude is somebody's spirit animal. I was all excited. I was like, look at me.
I'm a spirit animal.
I'm somebody's spirit animal. Usually I'm telling people that about them to me.
Yeah.
I've never been told I was anybody's spirit animal. So that made me excited. And then we also got our first listener from where? Australia. We're in the down under. We're in the down
outback.
Under. Outback. We're all excited.
In the Bobby.
Yeah. So whoever you are listening to us in Australia, thank you. We love you. And Italy. I'm Italian, so that one strikes home. I'm excited for that one. And we're in some more new states. So we're just kicking ass and taking names.
We're just all over the place.
But I do have to say, you want to hear something kind of sad?
Uh-oh.
So our market here, our show here, has been getting shopped around to different people to see if they want us as content creators, right? Not my doing, but higher ups than us have been shopping us around. And we went to one big network, right? They were really interested in us. And then they listened to our content and we're like, no.
Oh, no.
So apparently we're not family friendly. Again, the family friendly popped up. Who wants to be family friendly? I don't.
We're not for little kids. We're for adults, early 20s.
Listen, we're talking about real shit here, people.
Yeah.
We're talking about the underbelly. That's the whole the whole point of our show is the great underbelly.
It's not sugar-coated and sweet and
soft. No, we're talking about the
so
bullshit of the horse world, okay?
Yeah.
We are not going to sit here and give you prissy content. It's just not going to happen. And for all those people out there that are giving family-friendly content, good for you because I couldn't do it.
No,
you're just a whole
I
different breed of person.
So, respect.
So we were told no by just one, right? By just one. So somebody will come along, and if they don't, I really don't care. But I mean, I probably shouldn't say that because our higher ups are going to be like, that's really not a good PR there. But I'm happy doing with what we're doing, and we're growing every single week. We've got a lot of new people tuning in, and I got a ton of messages on our last few episodes. What's that clicking? Ian's playing with the damn screwdriver. Give me the screwdriver. I can't hear it anymore. No. So the fact that I was compared to George Costanza is a real hit, and that's kind of upsetting to me.
I'm in some mood.
Oh my God. So then I spent all week watching Seinfeld in between lessons. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I am George Costanza. As much as I don't want to be George Costanza, I am. So everybody resonated.
Just loud and angry.
Loud and angry all the time. Everybody resonated with this, and I was so upset. I was like, no, I don't want to be George Costanza. And they're like, son of a bitch, you are George Costanza.
Out of all the people you could be compared to, George Costanza.
George Costanza, that's me. I hope I don't look like him, a short, fat, bald man. That's really not what I want to be.
No.
So do you want to hear some shit about George Costanza? Not that anybody's okay, we're going off horse topic, but this is what we do. So, George Costanza, right? Look at him in the first few episodes of Seinfeld. How dare they call him fat? He is not fat. He's stocky.
He's stocky.
They fat shame George Costanza.
That's
I'm
rude.
upset about it.
They fat shame Jonas Hill all the time too.
Jonah Hill, yeah, they do. It's
all
upsetting.
All the time.
It's upsetting. Yeah, did you see he posted a post there? He's like, I just don't care.
And he gets so sad. And it's how can you bully that man? He is the funniest man ever.
Right, he is. But I mean, not that I want anybody to be bullied, but he's on the heavier side. Like, he's a little chunky. If you literally look at George Costanza in the first episode of Seinfeld, he was not fat at all.
Yeah.
Like, he was a normal man. He was not fat. How dare you call him fat? You're calling somebody that's not fat. That's so upsetting.
Welcome to Hollywood.
Right? Jerks,
Everyone's fat.
Assholes. Here we go.
Unless you're
Not
super
family-friendly content. But anyway, so this week was a wild one. It was actually a really good week. So everybody knows about our drama from last week because we filmed that episode on Sunday also, right? So then we're going into this week, and you know, there's really no new drama, which I kind of appreciate. Like, thank God.
Yeah.
But we just had like a good week. We did all our lessons on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then I had Thursday off, and then Friday I worked, and then Saturday I worked, and Sunday I'm usually off today, but I did group lessons and stuff today. So, you know, I'm working all week because I'm off tomorrow. So I took it's Memorial Day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I took Memorial Day off. So this is our Memorial Day episode. So I had like 3 questions. So people wanted to know a little bit about us, like more so as people, riders, and all that kind of stuff. And I really don't know what like to tell them. But I guess it came up how like we were like, oh, we were broke growing up. So somebody was like, how poor could you be? Because like you're riding horses and showing horses and stuff. And they wanted to know, like, I don't feel like they said it mean. They just wanted to know, like, how did I get into the situation I'm in if I came from somewhere that was like poor? Like, we weren't homeless poor people. Like, I mean, I know there's people with like a lot worse situations than me. Like, I don't mean that. But like, we didn't have like any like money. Like, I switched schools a lot, like from having to move from like apartment to apartment or whatever. Not that anybody wants to know my whole history. Well, I mean, I guess somebody does want to know my whole history. They were asking. I had like 2 people ask.
How broke
like,
were you?
Yeah, I had like 2 people.
You could afford horses.
Yeah, I had like 2 people ask, like, how the hell did you go? How are you supposedly so poor? And then end up like showing horses. Well, it was my grandmother. So like my grandma owned this place. My dad's mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got lucky.
So she owned this place. But then, like, she had a boarding place. And, like, the boarding place didn't bring in, like, a ton of money. Like, yeah, I was able to have, like, she got me a horse. Like, a nice horse, right? But, like, that didn't bring in a ton of money. So people wanted to know how I got into showing, like, high-end, like, higher level
Yeah, like, how did you
show
get
horses.
to that level?
So I mean, I don't know if my grandmother wants this, like, information out here, but I'm just going to tell it. Because, like, I live my life like an open book. So, my grandmother sold the boarding facility when I was 13, 14, I think, right? So, I had been riding local reining shows with my mare up until then. Mm-hmm. And we were, like, scraping that together and stuff like that. I mean, we weren't, like, dead broke, but, like, we couldn't afford to do like the high-end stuff. So my grandmother sold this place and then took all her money that she got from this place and bought horses for herself. So she always had a Morgan. Her Morgan passed away, and she was trying to buy like another Morgan for herself to show. And somehow, every time she got one, she didn't care for it. So she's like, here, Dana, like, we don't want to sell them because they were good. They were good horses. So she's like, well, we don't want to get rid of like Al. So like, Ice was first. Ice the Terrible, right? My baby. He was first.
The crazy man.
He was for her. God forbid. That would have never worked. He would have killed her. He almost killed me like 10 times.
Yeah, no.
So then I fell in love with him, and I'm like, Grandma, we can't sell this horse. We just can't, right? So then I kept him. And then she got Al for herself. And Al was good for her. She enjoyed Al. She liked Al. And then he turned around and... oh my God, we had so much. We knew nothing. So like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I showed reining. I was like 14. She had shown Western Pleasure on a fully trained horse. So like, we knew some stuff, but not like much, right? Mm-hmm. So we sell this place. We go to a boarding barn. We buy Ice. Ice is terrible. We buy Al. Al is not terrible. Al is good. But we wanted to show him Western. Now, he's definitely like a hunter through and through. Like, he is not a Western.
I was going to ask, you weren't doing like reining on L, were you?
No.
That makes no sense.
So we were doing So we were riding Western, and one of the girls at the boarding barn was like, you should try a hunt saddle. I had never ridden hunt seat, really. I had shown my mare at like a local open show in like hunt seat, my quarter horse, the one I did reining on. I didn't know what a diagonal was. I didn't know what a bit what like a hunt bridle was. So like, I knew nothing, like legitimately nothing. So we just started like taking Al one day because a boarder at this barn was like, he's definitely a hunt seat horse, right? You should ride him hunt seat. So I was like 13, 14, and I'm like, okay. So we went out and we bought this cheap old hunt saddle. This is like the funniest story that ever existed. So it's the like fall, right? And my grandma's real tiny and she's always cold and freezing. So she's always wearing like long johns under her jeans. So she gets on this hunt saddle. Now she's never ridden hunt seat either. Now my grandma's a badass. Okay, people. She is like a badass woman. Because she's got to be what? In her late 50s, early 60s. Because my parents had me super young.
Yeah.
So she's like late 50s, early 60s. I'm like 13, 14. And she's climbing up on this like 16-2 hand horse in a hunt saddle, which she's. Oh, here's Jenny.
Oh,
we'll let her speak, people.
Jesus.
Oh, she's going for it today. So she's climbing up on this giant like 16-2 hand monster of a horse, right? In a hunt saddle for the first time. She had never ridden in a hunt saddle, nothing. She like climbs her happy little ass up there and she's riding around, and she's like, "Oh my God, Dana. This saddle is eating me alive." And I'm like, what do you mean it's eating you alive? She's like, my hoo-hoo is so sore. So I'm like, well, like, what do you mean your hoo-hoo is so sore? She's like, it's just sore. She's like, this is the worst. My ass is sore. My hoo-hoo is sore. So she's like, I think it's the seams on my jeans. So I'm like, what do you mean it's the seams on your jeans? So you know like where your jeans meet together in the crotch, right? Oh my gosh.
There's a meltdown out
there. Somebody's feeding treats. So where the seams meet together in the crotch, she's like, this is the worst thing ever. So I'm like, okay. So she's like, I gotta take my pants off. And I'm like, what do you mean you have to take your pants off? She's like, I have to take my pants off. I'm like, well, what are you gonna ride in? She's like, I have long johns on. So I'm like, you're going to ride in this board? We're in a boarding barn.
In your underwear.
In your underwear, in your long john. She's like, well, they're like leggings. I'm like, okay, I guess do you, Grandma. Like, do what you're going to do. So she gets her pants off, and she's in her long johns. Well, like, we hadn't had Al that long, and he wasn't real good about, like, standing at a mounting block yet.
Oh, no.
So she's in these white-ass long johns, and she was right. They look like leggings, right? No one was in the barn. So it's not like she's like stripping in front of people.
Yeah.
No one was in the barn. So she like pulls down her pants, gets her long johns on. She like waddles her little tiny self up onto the mounting block. She's going to climb up on him. She gets her foot in the stirrup. She gets her leg over it, and the bastard moves. So she like falls forward onto his neck in front of the hunt saddle, and he starts like trotting off like a he's a big horse, right? So she's like on his neck, and she's like trotting off, and she had the blackest underwear you'd ever see in your life on, and I'm sitting there on ice, and Al's like trotting away, and she's like ho ho, and all you see is like white long johns and like her black underwear through her pants, hunched over the top of the saddle, and he's just like slowly trotting away with her. And she's like, no. Ho, ho, ho. And that was literally the last time she ever rode Al, ever, period. Last time she got on him.
Oh my God.
So then I was like gifted Al. She's like, I love Al. And it wasn't Al's fault. It was just like, my grandma's really tiny, and she's used to like Western pleasure horses.
And he's a big
horse. Hunter. Like he's a big hunter. Like he's a heavy moving, like a big guy. So like he just wasn't her cup of tea, but she adored him. So she's like, you can keep him.
Was he sold to you as a Western pleasure horse?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, it was. So listen to this. You really want to hear this dark side of bullshit? If these people that want us to be family friendly were not. So my grandmother found Al in the Buffalo News or the Penny Saver. I don't remember. You know, Ian. You've heard the story. Oh. So either the Buffalo News or the Penny Saver, he was found. And it said he was 15 hands. And he was a Western horse. So I was like, okay, so we're going to go look at him. And well, Grandma was like, we're going to go look at him because I was like 13.
Yeah.
So she goes to look at him. And she's like, oh my God, he is way bigger than 15 hands. Like way, way, way bigger.
Yeah, he's like 17 hands.
He's like 16 too. And he's like massive. So they're like, what the heck? My grandma's like, is he on like a raised stall? And the lady's like, no. So my grandma's like, okay. So she brings him out. And the lady, it was winter. We looked at him and we bought him in February. So it was winter. So the way the lady's property was set up, you had to cross a bridge. And there was all these ducks on this frozen pond. Like, I'm not kidding you, like 60, 70 ducks. Like ducks, geese, like birds.
That's weird.
On this big-ass pond. But you had to walk the horse out and up over this pond, over this bridge, over this pond. So I have him because like my grandma's like, you ride him, like you see if you like him, because pretty much like if I could ride him, she could ride him, right?
Yeah.
So that's like her
But
thought
then
process.
if you fall off, she knows.
Right? And she's like, if Dana dies, then we're fine.
Dana.
So my grandmother, I love her to death, and she sacrificed so much for me, but that bitch almost killed me. I don't know how many times. Like,
she's like, here, you get on.
Yes. Wait, I have so many stories about how she's just like, here, we're going to do this, and you're just going to do it. I'm like, oh, thanks.
Oh, thanks.
But so I'm walking Al. Now that I know Al, this is how I know he was drugged. Fully drugged.
No.
He's saddled, right? We're walking over the bridge. Every single friggin' duck in this pond just erupts, like starts flying fucking away, right?
He doesn't care.
He didn't even look. Now,
Oh
Al
my
is
God.
for anybody that wants to know, now Al is like 30 years old, right? In his 30s. This horse gets fired up over anything. And I don't mean like he gets stupid, but like he gets animated. Like head goes up, eyes get expressive, he's snorting, he'll trot in place,
He's like a
pounding
dragon.
around. Yeah, like full on dragon. So for this horse not even to lift his head 1 little ounce when 10,000 ducks just fly over him, like literally erupt out of the pond, right? It was like something out of a fucking movie. So that's why my grandmother bought him, was because he stood there when the ducks flew up over him.
Little
and I'm
did she
talking like
know
hundreds of ducks.
He was drugged.
Well, we get him home, right? We get him home. We had him 2 days. We get him home. We're letting him settle in. We go to ride him, pull him out of the stall on the second day. He's so lame, he can't even walk.
Oh my God.
So he was definitely drugged. He was definitely like buted and all that kind of stuff. Because like nothing had happened to him in this time frame.
So you didn't do a vet check on him?
No. So you want to hear how stupid we were? We didn't know that when somebody sets an asking price for a horse, it's negotiable. So they were
Oh
like,
my God.
they were like, oh, he's this much money. So we're like, okay, here's this much money.
You were like, hey, let's go under.
No,
Even I'm like, oh, that's 10 grand. Best I can do is 8. Like,
no, we were so dumb.
I'm like queen of negotiating.
Oh my God, we were so stupid. Now I am. Like now I
Yeah.
fully understand.
Like, I will never pay full price for something that
Nope.
I know is negotiable.
We were so stupid. We did that with Ice, we did that with Teton, and we did that with Al.
Oh my God.
So every horse that I bought my grandmother bought for me from from this barn's money, right? When she sold it. It has a crazy story behind it. Like literally, I've told Ice's story. Now this is Al's story, and I'll probably get in a tease. But anyway, so we get Al home. We pull him out of the stall 2 days later. He's so lame he can't even walk, right?
Ugh.
Like just dead lame.
Yeah.
So we get him into like chiropractic work, acupuncture. We even did Reiki. So I don't know if you know what Reiki
I know
is.
what Reiki is.
So Al did all that, right?
Al did Reiki?
We did Reiki on Al.
Wow.
We had like people come out and do everything. We got him completely sound. So the thing from his lameness was his back was out so bad. He literally was like an S curve. So still to this day he has a bad back. So I always limited like.
So do they think it was an injury, or do you think he was just so like misaligned and never?
He was just ridden so hard, right? Like he was just worked so hard. And he was this is like a weird thing. He was at a quarter horse barn. So he was a Morgan, but he was at a quarter horse barn. And they were riding him like a quarter horse Western pleasure horse. So like real low head and that awful lope.
Yeah.
And anybody that listens to us that has quarter horses, if you do that lope, then that's fine.
Yeah.
I just don't care
not
for
for
it.
me.
It's not my cup of tea. I'm a Morgan girl, but they had him doing that like odd lope.
Yeah.
Right? And so I don't know if it's true, but I feel like that's what like misaligned him so bad.
Because
But
he's not built for that.
he's not built for that at all.
No.
He's like huge. And I mean, I guess those quarter horses are huge and stuff, but I don't know. It was just different. So we get him home, we get him all fixed up, and it took like 3 or 4 months, right? So we had February. So we had bought him in February, March, April. So we're talking all the way up to April. We just did like groundwork, minimal lunging, all that kind of stuff. And that's when Grandma got him. So it was spring, not fall. So it was like spring because I knew it was cold, but not
It was
not
cold,
winter.
yeah.
So like April, and our first show with him was in May, and that's when
So she hadn't even really ridden him.
No.
She just kind of was like, okay, let's get on him in my underwear.
This is how deranged we were. We knew nothing. We were just like shooting in the dark. So we were just morons, like legitimate, like morons. Like, oh, they say that this horse is good enough to take to a show, so we're gonna take him. Good enough for us. Somebody told us we were fine. And like remember in the first episode, they made us buy those awful boots.
Yeah.
Like, this is how naive we were. So this is like...
Well, thank God someone at the boarding barn was like, hey, honey, that's not a Western horse.
That's like my whole career, though. Like, I'll be fully honest and transparent. Now I know, right? Because now I grew up and I had money to go, like, work with people and work under people and stuff. But my whole career from, like, 15... till, not that it's a career, but it kind of is. So maybe like 13 all the way up till like 21, right? Was just me piecing it together and having good luck. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, my horses were just good horses. Like, Teton, we bought him in a fucking restaurant. So
that's insane.
This is how fucking dumb we were. We were at a horse show. The horse was there. Teton was there. I begged my grandmother. I'm like, I love him. I need him. You see all his, like, he's got beautiful long hair. He's an old man now, too, but you see all his long hair.
Yeah.
He was just stunning, right? So I'm like, Grandma, we have to have him. We have to have him. We have to have him. He was at a horse show driving. So he was owned by an Amish guy that paid this one girl to drive him, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was like an agent for the Amish guy. He wasn't a trainer. He wasn't anything. He had 2 horses staying at his house. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw him at the horse show. My grandmother didn't buy him at the horse show, but later on we went and saw Teton, everything. Later on, my grandmother called him like 2 days later and was like, we really want to buy the horse. Cause like pretty much my granddaughter won't shut the fuck up.
Yep.
So we need this horse. And he was a stud at the time. And so my grandma is like, we want to buy this horse. So the guy's like, okay, well, meet me at this restaurant. And my grandma's like, okay. Like, this is how stupid we were. My grandma's like, okay. He's like, meet me at the restaurant with the money and I'll bring the horse's papers. Not the horse. I'll bring the horse's papers. Meet me at the restaurant with the money. I'm moving. This is a legit story. I swear to God. I'm moving out of town. Meet me at the restaurant with the money and I'll give you the horse's papers. And your horse will be in a pasture for you to pick up on Friday. Now, this is Wednesday.
What the hell?
So my grandmother did it. She did it. Like, I look back at this now. I'm like 30 years old, and I'm thinking, Grandma, like, that's a scam. Like, that's a scam waiting to happen.
Oh, he'll be in a pasture at an undisclosed location.
Yep, undisclosed location. Well, he gave us an address, right?
Oh,
and
my God.
So, sure enough, sure as shit, we show up on Friday with our little dinky, rusty horse trailer, and he's sitting out in the pasture. Thank God. Like, thank God we got him. And he was another one. Like, he had never been ridden. We trained him. I trained him personally in 30 days. I didn't send him out. I just hopped on. You want to talk about my grandmother trying to kill me? We just threw a saddle on him one day, and she's like, okay, just get on, but don't put your feet in the stirrups. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Get on, hang on
yeah,
loosely.
get on. Don't put your feet in the stirrups because you don't want to get your leg caught up like we did with Iceman. Remember?
Oh, my God.
So this is like literally what we did. And the horse was fantastic. I literally trained him up in 30 days.
How old was he?
He was 12.
Oh,
yeah.
So he was...
Same age as Al.
Yeah.
So Ice, when I bought Ice was 5. When I bought Al was 12. And when I bought Teton was 12.
Yeah.
So they were all like the same age. And you want to hear something weird? Gunner is 5, just like Ice was when I bought him. Frank is 12, just like Al when I bought him. And Rudy is 12.
That's
so
weird.
All my new string that I just purchased for this year are the 3, and they're both 3 geldings.
Yeah. So
and
that's
Frank,
like meant to be.
Frank is kind of like Al. Gunner is goofy like Ice was. And Rudy has all the beautiful long hair and stuff like Teton. But the only problem is they're all hunt seat.
Yeah, they're all hunters.
So I friggin' screwed the pooch. Because at least Ice was Western, Al was hunt, and Teton was saddle seat. So I had like all 3 divisions with those boys.
Now you're all one.
Now these boys are just all hunt seat.
They're just all hunt seat.
And 2 of them are saddlebreds and one of them is a
now
Morgan.
you gotta get another reining horse.
No, I'm not going back.
On.
I don't know. Baby Hank is sitting there, so who knows? Maybe.
I know, maybe.
Maybe I'll freshen my reining legs up and get in there.
That'd be awesome.
But, so, I don't even know where I was going with this. Oh, the person that asked how the hell I was showing these horses. So, we were, like, legitimately showing these horses off of my grandmother's money she got from selling the farm, right?
Yeah.
So, eventually that money was going to run out. So, my grandma was really frugal. So, she was not frugal in the aspect of, hey, let's go to all these horse shows, because she loves a horse show. Like, she's like me, just loves it. So she's like, yeah, we'll go to all these horse shows, but, you know, we can only eat one meal a day. And there was times when, like, we were literally sharing 10 chicken wings, like, for a whole day. She'd eat 5 and I'd eat 5 just to be there showing.
Yep.
So it's not like we were just, like, living large off this, like, money, right? But, like, I have to thank God for her, because without her, I would never be doing this. Like, she sacrificed everything. Like, she bought, like, a cruddy little house in Blaisdell, and the walls, like, it was just not like a nice house. She made it really cute in the end.
Hopefully it's gonna be like my house. It's not nice at the beginning.
But your house is nice on the inside. Like, hers was not nice on the inside. So, like, she sacrificed all that just for me and her, and she never showed. So that's, like, one thing I have to tell everybody. She bought all these horses, right? Because Teton she wanted as her Western horse, which, yeah, right, he was saddle seat, opposite. We knew nothing. So for anybody listening to this that's like, oh my God, we literally knew nothing. We just bought horses and thought, well, we're going to do this with them. Why not? And then we learned real quick that, like, oh, we can't. Like, that's not, like, what that horse is going to do. So, like, we were just, like, poor people that ended up with some money and spent it on pretty much my future is what she did. Like, she's just like...
Investing in you.
She was always like, you got this. Like, you could do it. And that woman never showed. She carried every bucket, like, she'd clean stalls. She would, like, bust her ass just for me to go out there and show. Aww. Just for me. Like, she is, like, literally the queen of the world. So anybody that wants to know, like, how the hell did you do this? It's her. It's her and no one else. Yep. Like, her and no one else. I would not have a thing if it weren't for her.
That's so sweet.
But on the opposite side of this woman could not give me a good friggin' victory pass to save my life. She has embarrassed me I don't know how many times with the victory pass photos. So when you win a class, you get to do a victory pass, right? I don't know if you've ever seen one.
No, I don't think so.
You go up. There's usually a gazebo with a sign. You go up to the sign, they take your picture, and then they announce you and you trot around, right? And they take your picture, and it's you all by yourself. So it's a victory pass. Well, at the end of the victory pass, somebody's supposed to be standing there waving a towel to get your horse's ears forward. This woman could never, for as much faith as she said she had in me, she never thought I was going to fucking win. So she never brought anything in for the victory pass.
No towel.
Every time I won, I was literally petrified to do my victory pass because I had seen this woman use a dirty old tissue. It was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. She pulled out a dirty old tissue out of her pocket and, like, shook it around.
I was shaking it.
She could not run to save her life. So you've got to run from one side of the arena to the other. She could not run to save her life. And every time I won, she'd pin the ribbon on me because they, like, put the ribbon up on your bridle. And she would look at me and go, oh, dear God, I hope my ankle doesn't give out and I fall. And I'm thinking, so I never got to enjoy one single victory pass. I mean, I did, but I didn't get to, like, enjoy one single victory pass.
It was always hectic.
I was like, oh, my shit, my grandma's going to fall. She's going to eat dirt. She's going to embarrass me. I'm, like, 16 years old. Like, we cared about that stuff.
Yeah,
now.
it's like, imagine you win and then you go to do your victory pass and it's just trash.
Grandma's just, I can't tell you how many trash ones I've had. I've actually had her. This is so embarrassing. So she did this because we knew nothing. We had no etiquette, people. Like, we knew nothing. We didn't show like this. She actually went up to the ring steward who was holding all the extra ribbons, right? So say I won the class and there was only like 5 horses in the class. So the guy's standing there with the 6th place ribbon, right? I've actually seen this woman walk up to the ring steward guy out of excitement, steal the 6th place ribbon, use it to wave around at the horse, and then hand it back to him at the end and say thanks and run out with the horse.
It's so like
mortifying. It literally was. It was literally like, oh, the trash people won again.
Trash people won.
Then one year, and I still have him, and I should take a picture of him and put him on the thing. One year I stole this. So my brothers are all super younger than me, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm showing, and it was at a fair. I think it was Erie Fair or Cat Fair. I can't remember. And I won with Teton. And I'm thinking the whole friggin' time, I'm like, what the fuck is she going to use for a victory pass? What is she going to do? You know, don't just reach down and throw dirt. She has to bring something bizarre into the ring. So I'm like, what the fuck is she going to bring in here? Sure enough, I see her trotting down the rail. Now, if anybody ever sees Grandma and sees how she runs, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Her hair bounces, right? She's got all this hair. So her hair bounces as she runs, and she's so tiny. That's all you see is her smoking a cigarette because it's at the fair. Hair bouncing, and I see something that's wearing a cape in her hand. And I'm thinking,
God.
son of a bitch, what's she bringing in here now?
Oh,
she brought a giant SpongeBob that had a cape on it, a Superman SpongeBob, a giant one that my brother had won from the fair. And I'm coming around the corner of my victory pass, and I turn and look, and she's holding him straight up in the air, and she's waving this giant SpongeBob. And as I'm coming out, she looks at the ring steward, and she goes, look at SpongeBob! And she's, like, making him dance and everything. I was dying.
It's so embarrassing.
I was just dying. I'm like, here I won, like, an open class. I was a junior exhibitor. I would never show junior exhibitor because I just wanted to be in with the trainers. I just wanted to be a trainer so bad.
Yeah.
So I won an open class, and I was, like, so excited, shitting my pants, turn around to see SpongeBob.
Giant SpongeBob.
But I will tell you, Giant SpongeBob has been our victory pass thing since that day. So since that day,
I'm surprised your horse has never looked at him and been like, what the fuck? And just spooked.
Well, we work with them with it. So SpongeBob has become a pivotal part of our, like, victory passes. Anytime we get a victory pass, 90% of the time, unless it's Worlds, because I won't do that to people.
It's just embarrassing.
Unless it's Worlds or like a big top regional, like with the Arabians and stuff, SpongeBob is our victory pass captain. He is. He's our victory pass captain.
That's
so
cute.
That she did instill in me was like, you just gotta kind of like lighten up a little bit. It's our mascot. Yeah. Well. Oh my God. So we can't put this out here. Can I? You think? I mean, they already deemed us not family friendly. So my grandma's a pervert too. Not like a huge pervert, but like she is a pervert. She's a comedic pervert. Like anything that's tooting, like tooting is the funniest thing in the world to her. She thinks that's like the best thing. She will be in tears laughing about like somebody tooting. It's like she finds it hilarious.
That's hilarious.
I do too, because like when the horses do it, I
like
crack up.
Fart.
I can't help it. So she's like she's got like a dirty mind. She's just like a funny old lady. Like she's hilarious. So where she found this, I have no idea.
Oh God.
I don't even know how to start this. I really don't even know how to start it.
Oh God.
I have it in my closet. I'll have to bring it out.
I'm scared of what it is.
I can't
now.
post a picture of it. So it's this little plushy horse, okay?
Okay.
And he has a thing. He has like a big thing.
It's as big as his leg.
It's as big as the horse itself.
Where did you find this?
I don't know where she found this. But so the barn we boarded at was I don't know how to put it nicely. They were prudes. Okay, well, we'll say they were prudes. I don't know how else to put it. They were prudes. And my grandmother and
They were classy.
no, they weren't classy.
No?
The way they tried to sabotage me and stuff is just there's no class there whatsoever.
Yeah.
They just think they're
Stuck
better
up.
than everybody else. Let's
Okay.
put it that way. Because they don't have, like, anything to write home about. Horse-wise, they do. I'll give them that. Like, they've got nice horses. But, like, their facility isn't... It's nice, but it's not, like, state-of-the-art, like, multi-million-dollar or anything. No reason to act how they act. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, my grandmother gets this little thing, and she thinks it's going to get a big laugh, right? So doesn't the barn owner, we're at a horse show, we're all like sitting around talking, doesn't the barn owner reach in and grab it by its thing? And my grandma's like, look, it's our barn mascot. And the barn owner's like holding it by its like thing and doesn't even realize she is. And she's like, what a cute little horsey.
It had hair and everything.
And it has hair on it and everything.
What the hell?
It's disgusting. It is so funny.
What?
It's so unassuming, but so funny.
It is so
I gotta
funny.
see it now because that's like so weird.
I will legitimately dig it out of the closet for you. Or it's in one of the totes. We take them with us to every horse show.
He's in a tin.
He's in a tin, a
God.
Christmas tin. We were crying. Me, this lady named Jenny, and Grandma were just crying because she's showing it around to everybody.
By its wiener?
Holding its wiener, yeah. And she's like, look how cute this is. This is our new barn mascot. This is our new barn mascot. Look how cute it is. And she's like waving it around. And sure enough, my grandma's like, oh, okay. Or you gotta bleep that name. She's like, oh, okay, hold it on its back. Like, hold it on its back to show people. And she does, and the big wiener just, like, pops straight out. And she literally looks at my grandma, and she goes, oh, my God! And she, like, threw it into the dirt. I never, like, laughed so hard in my life.
That is
like,
hilarious.
We were just crying.
Oh
like,
my
just
God.
crying. So, that is pretty much my grandmother. But
Oh, the whoopee cushion machine.
oh my God, she had a fart machine.
We had a fart machine.
Well, these people, right? They had a camper, and whoever listens to this is just going to think we're disgusting. And you know what? We are. And if you don't get along with us, screw you, because we are disgusting. I don't know how else to put it. So my grandmother takes this fart machine and she looks at the lady that has the camper and she goes, oh, my stomach is so upset.
Stop.
Could I use your bathroom? Because I don't want to use the public bathroom. So she's like, okay. So... oh my God, there's so many stories here. My grandmother has a history of bowel problems that are just embarrassing. Oh my God, she's gonna kill me if I put this out. Oh well, it's going out. Sorry, Grandma. So she already has a history of bowel issues. Okay, so it wasn't far-fetched that she wasn't feeling good. Okay, so she takes this fart machine and she goes in this camper bathroom and we're all in there. We're like 20 people deep in this little camper. Oh. And all you hear coming out of the camper is like these big, huge, like farts. Me and this one lady that used to show with us are holding each other in tears, crying, like literal tears coming out of our eyes, crying, holding each other. I'm like 15, 16. My grandma, you can hear her in the bathroom like
giggling,
squeaking because she's trying to hold in her giggles. So they did not make a fucking noise. They didn't acknowledge it. They didn't laugh. They didn't smirk. They didn't smile. That was the moment when I realized, like, you are not my kind of people.
No.
You are just not my kind of people. I'm sorry. So we're like, screw you, lady. Like, what up? Like, you guys are just not fun. So my grandma comes out of the bathroom. Now, she's been holding in her laughs. She hasn't actually been going to the bathroom, but was holding in her laugh so hard she had tears and she was like sweating. So it legitimately looked like she just had like the shit of her life. we were like dying. We came out of the camper and my grandmother looks at me and goes, what did they do? I said, they didn't even like crack a fucking smile. How? How did you not? Like, how did you not? Now,
it's funny that your grandma has no shame like in embarrassing herself.
So I'm going to tell you a story, okay? She's really going to kill me, but I don't care. Her pain is our amusement. She uses my amusement all the time. So me and my grandmother both, I'll embarrass myself here too. When we get nervous, we have like bowel problems. Okay. Not that anybody wants to know this, but we do. So we went to Equine Affair one year. Okay.
Love it there.
She's dry. Yeah. We've had many moments there sitting on people's laps and everything else, hugging people.
Oh yeah.
So we go down to Equine Affair. And when my grandma has to sit in a car for a long time, she gets like gas pains. Okay.
Lord.
Old lady
problems. So she's like, oh, can we please stop and get me some milk of magnesia? So I'm like,
Who
okay.
says that?
My grandma.
Who like says that we need to stop and get that?
She does. My grandma. She's like, we need to get milk of magnesia. So I'm like, okay. She's like, I'm having such gas pains. Like, I am in so much pain. She was like doubled over. So this is her MO, okay? She drinks milk of magnesia and she walks all night long till the gas pains are gone.
She drinks the whole bottle.
Well, you're not supposed to drink the whole bottle. Well, her gas pains were so bad at Equine Affair in the hotel at night, she ends up drinking the entire bottle of milk of magnesia. So that's like a diarrhea waiting to happen.
That's like a laxative.
Oh my God. Well,
Lord.
She can't go. She's still in the hotel in the morning and she's like, I can't go. I just can't. She hates anything other than Pepsi. So she like made coffee. She couldn't force herself to drink it. She's like the weirdest woman in the world. I love her. So she's hilarious. So she couldn't like handle it. So we're like walking around Equine Affair and she grabs my arm. Like we're walking, she grabs my arm. She goes, Dana, I'm in trouble. I'm like, why are you in trouble? What do you mean you're in trouble? She's like squeezing my arm. She's like, we have to find a bathroom. I'm in trouble.
My mom would do the same thing, honestly.
I'm like, what do you mean you're in trouble? She's like, we have to go. So, like, we run through the sea of people, and there's a friggin' line waiting to get into the bathroom. So she's waiting in the line, and she's like, I don't know. She's sweating. She's like, I don't know. I'm not going to make it. So she makes it. You can hear her going to the bathroom, erupting from outside the bathroom. I'm dying laughing. I'm like pissing my pants. The lady we went down there with is literally pissing her pants. We're crying. Doesn't she come out and she's like, I broke the fucking toilet.
No.
I'm like, no, you didn't break the toilet. She's like, I broke the toilet. I can't flush the toilet. What do I do? I'm like, I don't know. What do you mean? What do you do?
It wasn't
She's like,
a porta potty?
no, it was like the toilets in like one of the buildings.
Oh, no.
And she literally,
She's one of those.
she literally blew it apart.
No.
And the attendant went in there and like died, pretty much died, and looked at her and was just like mortified. And literally she could not get the toilet to flush. So my grandmother drank a whole bottle of milk and magnesia at Equine Fair and
broke the toilet. That's terrible.
It was
poor
hilarious.
attendee. If I was an attendee, I'd quit. I'd be like, you know what? I don't get paid enough for this.
We were dying. We still make fun of her to this day over that like toilet. But that's like, she's done that like I don't know how many times. Like she is just full, like me and her both are just full of embarrassing moments. Like embarrassing moments. Like it's hilarious, but it's just ridiculous. Like absolutely ridiculous. So.
Remember the next peak kind of fair with the underwear?
Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God.
Oh,
We're just
God.
like, our group of our farm members are deranged. So I'm just going to tell people that.
We spend a lot of time traveling.
We spend a lot of time together. We're all deranged. None of us are normal. This is what you have to look forward to, Jen.
Can't wait.
None of us are normal. So if you come into our group and you don't find us funny, which like, that's fine. Like not everybody is everybody's cup of tea because we just aren't like a high class of people, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah. No.
I don't know. We love our horses, but we find like stuff humor
It's not
and
that
like
serious.
it's just we're not serious at all.
No.
So my girls, we went down to Equine Fair, okay, and I had my girls that I've had shown with me forever, and they always initiate a new member in a disgusting way. Okay. So like in just a gross way, they initiate one way or another. You're going to get something gross to happen to you.
Oh Lord.
And that's like your initiation into the group. And if you can't hang, then you don't belong. You can't hang. So we had brought down like new members with us, right? And they were staying in one hotel room and we had like a whole block of hotel rooms. And we don't go and stay at like the fanciest places because we're not rich people. So it was like a Red Roof Inn. So it was like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, they instantly were like, this place is disgusting. We need to go to Walmart and buy new sheets.
It was freshly renovated.
And it was like freshly renovated.
Oh,
like it wasn't
geez.
like a Roach Motel or anything, but they're like, we need new sheets. We can't stay here. We got to lock our cars. Like it was just like people that are just not like our kind of people. So I told the girls 3 times, don't you dare do it. Don't you dare, like, try to initiate them because, like, not that they didn't belong, but, like, I knew they weren't going to handle it well, right? They were never going to be a part of the core group that's been with me for, like, 20 years. They just weren't those people, right? Mm-hmm. So, sure as shit, they go to Walmart. They buy a 6X pair of underwear, men's underwear.
Why?
Because this is just what my girls do. They're disgusting. They buy gravy, corn, and french fries and made like a shit pretty much, put it in the underwear and hung it on their hotel room door.
Ew. Oh my God.
So I had told the girls like 4 times, don't do this. Like, these people aren't going to handle this well. Like, they are going to freak out. Like, don't do it. They're already buying brand new sheets. Like, don't do this to these people. Well, I have no control over my girls. Like, I just don't. We are a huge family. Okay. We're deranged. We're messed up. And I just have no control over them. They do what they want to do, and they've all been together for so long. Like, these girls have all been together for years, right? So, like, they know the ins and outs of each other, through and through. They've been most of my, like, girls have been shown together since they were, like, 10.
Yeah.
Now they're, like, 20 and 30. So, like, they've just been together forever. Half of them, like, call me mom, everything, whatever. So, they do this to this girl. oh my God, we're sitting in the car, right? Like in front of the door, and we're waiting for them to come out and get into their car. So we get to watch this whole thing fucking unfold.
Oh, God.
Well, what I didn't know is they turned around and they put one by their car also.
Oh,
So it just looks like shitty underpants everywhere. And they had already thought like this hotel was gross and everything. And it was just the most, like, they were mortified. Like, they were absolutely mortified. They still to this day have no idea that it was us.
Really?
They genuinely think that the hotel had people in there that were just like shitting, giant people that were just like shitting their pants
and like leaving it
and leaving their underwear on their doorknob. Like, and honest to God, I should probably tell them, because if they listen to this, because like I'm still friends with these people. They had the girl was a junior exhibitor and sold her horse because they just got out of horses. Like a lot of people do that. They didn't leave us because of that. They also didn't enjoy it. Like like a lot of my customers are just deranged, and they would have been laughing their asses off.
Yeah.
Like they would have thought that was fucking hilarious.
You
like
would
a
never
dirty,
fucking guess what I found.
like a dirty, yeah. Like they never mentioned it. They didn't know we were sitting in the car watching. They never mentioned it. They never said a word about it. They never brought it up. Like, look what I found. They never said a word.
Oh my God.
They just genuinely thought that was there. Like, right? So
I wonder if they complained to the hotel.
Probably.
And
They
the
were
hotel's
probably
like,
like,
what?
bunch of shitty underpants all over my room.
1-star Yelp review and it's your fault.
Right? Oh my God. But
my God.
like I said, I have no control over my girls. Like, I just don't. And that's the kind of people we are. So, I mean, like I said, I
That's
know.
hilarious.
Come on down.
Come on down.
Hillbilly Rich. I mean, we're not that bad anymore. I mean, I guess maybe we are. We just are.
Anymore?
We're just that bad. It is what it is. We just don't take ourselves too seriously. We find humor in bodily functions. I just don't know what else to say.
We're just
But
immature. It's
back to the question of somebody saying, if you were so poor, how the hell did you do this? That's how I did it. Was just my grandma. Were we classy enough to be there? Probably not.
No.
We thought we were able to be there. I mean, we won. We do well. Obviously, we do well. People enjoy me. I mean, my customers aren't running away. They know what I am. Like, I'm very transparent.
You know who you are.
I just can never be, no matter how much money I make, no matter how many top of the line show horses I can have, I just can never not be like somebody that's going to have fun.
Yeah. Because what's the fun in not having fun?
I don't know. I don't know.
Being serious and snooty.
You will
and...
be shocked. Like, when you go to the horse shows. I mean, I'm not saying everybody's like that, because they're not. There's lots of people that are super fun. But there's also lots of people that aren't. Like, they don't
Very
find...
serious.
Like, we're so loud. Like, I've actually been told by, like, a horse show official that, like, when people are looking for our barn, like, new people. Like, say you drive up to the horse show and you don't know where we're stabled and you go to a horse show official. I've been told that you guys get told... Just listen for the loudest group, and you'll find them.
Oh, God.
So we're like the rowdy bunch.
Dana's yelling over somewhere. I'm like, what's going on?
Pretty much.
There
Pretty much.
she is.
I'm just like screaming.
Yeah.
Like, stop it! Like yelling like a crazy person. But that's like what I've been told. So did we get more classy as time went on? No. I don't. I guess not. I guess not. But we have a damn good time. I've also been told by horse show officials, personally to myself, that I'm the hardest working one there. Because, like, I'll be there from the time it opens till the time it closes. I have been, like, told that, like, genuinely. I've had to turn the lights off before. I've been told, Dana, we know you're going to be here for fucking 2 more hours. Just go shut the lights off.
Do you just, like, train horses while you're there?
Like, so, I'm different, I guess.
I'm built different.
Yeah, well, I guess. I mean, I don't mean to say it like cocky, but like I walk my horses a lot. So, like, which might sound weird, but I do. Like, a lot of horses I get into training, which you know, are problemed horses, right? So
or really hot horses.
Yeah, I don't really get the luxury just yet of getting like a breeder to say like, hey, Dana, you know, I've bred this, this, and this. Do you want to take it and start it from the ground up and show it for me? I have 2 or 3 customers like that, but I'm not there yet, right? Where I'm getting all these great, great horses. So I'd say a good 60 to 70% of my horses that come in for showing and stuff are horses that are really sour, really miserable, really cranky, or they're like auction horses, or they are horses that we've pulled out of the slaughter pen. They're discarded horses, right? So 90% of my day at a horse show is spent just walking horses, like everywhere. My horses walk everywhere. I don't know why I do that. I mean, I know why I do that, because I just like my horses to see everything and be calm and be like comfortable in my hands, you know, and I ride them too, obviously, like they get ridden 2 or 3 times a day. And a lot of big farms don't agree with me that way, because then they don't look as like expressive, like when they're showing.
Yeah, because they're kind of worn out. Not like worn out, but they're like
used to
warmed
it.
Up.
It becomes normal to them. Like
Yeah.
it's not exciting anymore. But what I say to those people, because I've had big trainers come up to me and be like, Dana, you really shouldn't do that. You should leave them fresh. You know, work them with blinders on, like so they can't see like the sides.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be worried about them spooking then?
Well, I mean, I guess like a lot of trainers just do it that way. So those horses are hotter. They want them hot.
Yeah.
Me personally, I feel like maybe it's just different. So I don't like to dog anybody, because I don't really understand where they're coming from. I guess I understand it as they've probably had this horse since they were a baby.
So they're really used to the horse.
They're super used to the horse. The horse has no quirks, right? Like the horse has no serious quirks.
Yeah.
I'm not lucky enough to be there just yet.
Yeah, you have horses where like
They're all quirks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would rather have my horse be calm, quiet, and just get through a class right now. Well, not all my horses are like that, but most of them, right?
Yeah.
Because we're coming out this season with all new animals except for 2, because my old men have retired.
Yeah.
And I have 2 they're older hunters, you know, that I'm going to show. But so I would much rather have my horses just be out, right? Like out and seeing it and calm, and I know I can lead them, and I know I can trust them, and I know where they're going to get hot, or I know where they're going to be uncomfortable, or I know exactly where not to ask for a lope departure, or not to ask for this, or not. So like my girls spend a ton of time just with their horses out in that ring. There's not a time at a horse show when one of my horses isn't in that practice ring. You know what I mean? Unless like obviously we're not allowed to be there. Like when we're showing and the practice ring is only for like 2 classes ahead or something, like then that's different. But even then we're usually walking them around somewhere. But like that's just me. I don't know why I do that. It just makes me feel more comfortable. I've gotten a lot of horses away from being ring sour that way, because they're not going in the ring to show and work. They're going in the ring to like walk. I'm also a big treat person.
I know. Tons of cookies.
I'm always stuffing cookies. I always want them to be happy. Like, that's just me. I just train differently, I guess.
Yeah, there's people who don't even give their horses treats.
Yeah. I just do it different. And I guess maybe that comes from not knowing shit and having to like learn as I go.
Yeah.
But it works for me. Like, I don't have like bunky ass horses. Like, my horses are good horses. No, none of them are sour. None of them are cinchy. None of them are anything. I have one cribber, which is Frank, but he stops when he just wants to get turned out. If he's stuck in for the day, then he'll crib. But I mean, none of my guys have bad habits. Like, and I'm not saying like, oh, I'm the best. Like, that's not.
You are the best.
You
gotta say you're the best.
According to that guy, I had to tell him I was the best.
You gotta say it. I'm the best.
Right, I am. But I mean, I'm not like that's. I don't think I'm better than anybody else's training techniques, because there are some like beautiful horses out there. You know what I mean? And so I don't know if that's just me. So for the person that called in and asked how the hell I was so poor doing what we were doing it in the trashiest way possible, people.
Yeah, you just got lucky and you were talented enough to build up your horses.
We were spreading fake toots. We had perverted mascots.
Pranks.
We had pranks.
Giant
And
animals.
then I wonder why they say we're not family friendly.
This is why.
If we can get a picture of the mascot, I'll get a blur and put it over.
Oh yeah, I'll get a picture of the mascot.
That'd be hilarious.
We'll put a
We
little
have to do that.
censored bar over his
An OnlyFan for
his his wiener. Oh my god, so funny. No,
That's
but
hilarious.
I guess like the moral of this episode, there's no moral. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. The thing of this episode is pretty much just like I have to thank my grandmother, because like we would not be here.
Yeah,
Like,
and
we were
she
not.
made it fun for you. She wasn't serious and like one
Oh
of
my
those
God.
parents who's like, you gotta be perfect.
Hilarious.
She
She didn't make it
she had
fun
a
for
fart
me.
machine.
It was hilarious. She carried that fucking fart machine with her for 4 years straight to every horse show and would put
Her
it.
and my mom would be best friends because my mom has the same sense of humor.
Listen, I genuinely think this is why you and I get along so well, because we were both just like thrown to the wolves
Yep.
to be raised. Like, it's just
Yep.
like, oh, figure it out.
Free range.
How
free range
how we
children.
didn't end up drug addicts or
Yeah.
alcoholics.
My
I
mom
don't
says
know.
that all the time. She's like, you did really good for yourself, and I'm like, thanks.
My
I
mom.
did it by myself.
My mother was always that person that was like, you're either gonna be in prison or you're gonna be one hell of a company
Human
person.
being.
But I'm gonna tell the world, I'm not in prison yet. So
Not
I
yet.
haven't made
I
it.
know you got the attitude for causing trouble.
I'm one small anger management problem away from being locked up for a long time.
One missed therapy session away
Yes.
from doing something bad.
That's one thing I don't do, is therapy.
I did therapy for a while,
Did you enjoy it?
depending on the therapist.
The-
You gotta find the right therapist.
I don't feel like I could share my feelings. I am not that person. I
I'm
make
not
a joke
either.
of all
I
my
would lie. I would
tragedies.
just lie.
Why would you pay to lie?
Just pay to lie to somebody?
They don't need to know my shit.
I'm going to be honest. So for everybody that knows our history, well, because I feel like next time, well, in a minute, we have to do some of Jen's history, right? Because people weren't asking just about me. They were asking about you, too. Because we were both broke. So they wanted to know how the hell you ended up here, too.
Maybe next time, because we're at 54.
Oh, maybe next time.
Maybe
But
next time.
Ian himself grew up broke, too. We were just like a bunch of broke bitches
Yeah.
trying to do shit.
I mean, the horse industry, it's a rich man's sport. It's like
Yeah.
golf.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
only
is.
rich people really
I
play
mean,
golf.
how did you end up liking horses? Like, if you guys didn't have no money.
I mean, my mom had a mule, they're like a quarter horse, appendix quarter horse, and a pony.
So now, what'd you guys do? Just like,
She had them in our backyard, which
Yeah.
is crazy because we live in like our backyard's like all marsh, so like
They
it
were
was
just mud.
it was a mud pit. But no, my mom actually she rode horses since she was little.
now did she come from money?
No. No,
See?
she would work. She would go to a farm and work and groom the horses in exchange for riding.
See,
Is what she would do. And she and her friends back in the day would all get really drunk and bar hop on their horses.
yeah, my dad used to
Yeah,
do that too.
and she said it was the funnest thing because they'd get all hot at night because they want to go home and they'd be all wasted and they'd be like falling off the horse.
Yeah, see? But like, don't you look back on that now, right? And like, think about that as a situation. And then you look at like the horse you're going to buy or even Bo and be like, how could I ever put him in that situation?
Yeah. I mean, her horse was gorgeous too, though. But she was just like,
But like, wouldn't you be mortified to leave your
Yeah.
horse outside of a bar?
oh, yeah. No, we used to do it when I was little. We used to trail ride to this little bar and we'd leave her, she called him Baby Boy, out in the paddock out front and hope that he doesn't roll with the Western saddle on.
See?
It's like, oh my God.
Isn't that like mortifying
Yeah.
now? Like when you think like, because we used to do stupid shit like that all the time. My dad used to be my friggin' grandfather. I remember them telling a story, walking across it all the way to Lackawanna from Orchard Park on a horse.
Yep.
Walking across bridges
Did I
and
ever
roads.
tell you this? I was serving upstairs at my restaurant in the middle of the town. Like, and it's a rich town. Like, there's Lamborghinis, there's
Yeah.
Maseratis. Middle of a rich town. It was like 5:00 on a Friday night. And what do I see coming down the road? A man on a big black horse.
Was he a big hottie?
No,
Oh.
it was like a weird old man. He was just in the middle of the road, just trotting along on his horse. He trotted, stopped at the stoplight, waited for it to go green, and trotted right down Main Street
What the shit?
in Orchard Park.
See, this is why I don't ever want to sell horses.
And it was so random, and I was like, "What is going on?" There's a man on a horse. It was not a policeman.
It was just
It
some
was
random
like
old man.
just a random man and a random horse.
Now, would you have felt bad if you found out he had Alzheimer's and he was living out his rodeo fantasies,
I mean,
not knowing where the fuck he's
I mean,
going?
you do you. Like, honestly, like, but it was like a big horse. Like, it wasn't a small horse. It was like a Frisian almost. Like,
Oh my God.
Yeah, like a draft horse.
We gotta find him. How long ago is this? We
It
gotta
was
have
like,
him on.
It was like a month ago. I'm like, what? And I literally stop in the middle of serving my tables, and I'm like looking outside, just in shock.
Oh my God. Did you like
Like-
tell your people, like, look at this shit?
Yeah, I was like, there's like a man running down the street with a horse, like on a horse.
Oh my God.
I don't know what's happening.
How old was he?
I don't know. Maybe he had a DWI and couldn't drive.
So he's just riding instead.
Yeah,
He's my hero.
Riding his horse to the bar.
He's
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
my hero.
Had something to do.
Oh my
to
God.
Get away. Well, there's a picture or there's a video on Instagram of a Bills player riding his horse down Orchard Park.
Who is it?
Oliver.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Ed Oliver. That's
He's
right.
trotting his
Yeah.
horse down the street.
Yeah, friggin' craziness.
It's crazy. I would never ride my horse on the street because I know it's so bad for their feet.
Well, like I just like, oh my God, like I could just never.
And like cars.
Yeah, like I could just never.
And like
put my-
Orchard Park's not country.
No, it isn't. Like they
It's,
don't
like,
know how to be
rich.
around a horse.
Yeah, it's like Lamborghinis. Like I see like 5 Lamborghinis in Orchard Park every time I'm there.
I know.
And there's just a man on a horse.
No, I just couldn't do it. Like I couldn't put my horse in that situation. Like that's half the reason why I don't want to sell my horse. So like, and I shouldn't get into this, but we have a customer here. You know him, right?
Uh-oh.
So he hasn't ridden in like 3 years, and he's got this like funky little horse. Okay, I love the horse. He's just like a funky little guy. He's not like a show horse. He's just like one of the only boarders I'll ever keep because he just doesn't like really have anywhere else to go, right? And I know he isn't gonna listen to this, so like that's fine. And even if he did, well, yesterday he just up and decides like I haven't ridden in 2.5 years, and I'm just gonna ride.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, oh my God. So he's like, I was hoping you'd be here to help me. And I was like,
no.
oh yeah, I'll help you like for free. That's fine.
Yeah.
Which like, it is fine. Like I'd rather help somebody rather than have them die. So like, I'm like, sure, I'll help you. And so this horse hasn't been ridden in like 2.5 years. And I'm thinking, well, maybe we should lunge him first. He's like, oh, I'm going to take him out in the field. And I'm
Oh,
like,
God.
so I put a stop to that one. Cause I'm like, that's death. You're at death's door at that
Yeah,
point.
no.
So I'm like, no. So I'm like, take him in the indoor. So he gets on him in the indoor. He goes to get on him, and the whole fucking stool just flips over. It's on Facebook, so that's why I feel comfortable talking about this.
Wait, it's
'cause
on Facebook?
he shared his experiences on Facebook, so I feel like it's fair game for me to talk about. And I'm not being mean. It's just like people just genuinely don't really know anything. And thank God, like this horse took such good care of him. The horse hadn't been ridden at all in 2 years. Like nothing in 2 years.
That's the Tennessee Walker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't do a thing. Didn't do a thing. Like took care of him so
I thought
well.
he was a jerk. The horse. I thought the horse could be a huge jerk.
He can be. That's why I was shocked.
Oh my
I was
God.
shocked. The stool flipped over, went underneath the horse. The guy's foot got stuck in the stirrup. He's hopping along, and the horse is just kind of like moved his butt like 2 steps and stood there. And I'm thinking,
oh my God.
God is shining down on you. Like God has his arms around you right at this
God
very
is
moment.
saving
He
you.
is saving you. Like it was a revival right in the middle of the arena. Like saved. You are saved.
It's like
And-
a little 3 hearts. Like one heart goes.
Oh my God, like
You got
a life.
2 left.
Yeah, he got 2 lives left. He's like a cat. He's got 9 of them. But no,
There goes one.
I was just like, oh my God, like just mortifying. Thank God, like he was fine and everything like that. But like, I just look at it as I can't be mean about it because at one point that was me. Right?
Yeah,
At like, well,
that
I
was
mean,
all of us.
that
at
was
one
all
point.
of us. We were all just stupid. Like,
Mhm.
if you grew up in a household where you didn't have to be stupid and do stupid things, thank your parents or your grandparents
Yeah.
or your aunts or your uncles or whoever the fuck raised you, and you didn't have to do stupid shit. Because I remember when we got our gypsy, we got her. She flew in. She was imported from Ireland. She got delivered at the farm. She was like a year old. The day she turned 2 years old, my grandmother was like, she's 2 years old. Yay, let's ride.
Oh God.
No groundwork was done with her. We taught her how to lunge. That's it. Never had a saddle on, nothing. And I said to my grandma, well, how are we going to do this? Because we never taught a horse
How to ride.
how to ride from nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like from nothing. So I'm like, how are we going to do this? She's like, well, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to hold her halter, and you're just going to jump on her bareback, and I'm going to trot alongside of you. Now, mind you, this is my fucking grandmother who says if my ankle gives out, I'm going to fall.
She's not like sturdy.
She's not a sturdy woman.
Yeah, she's not a big burly woman.
So-
She's got like
And she's going to trot this 15-hand gypsy vanner who's like built like a fucking tank
yeah.
with my, like, I was small at the
With
time.
your body just
my
hanging
little
over.
body just holding onto her mane like we're in some fucking movie. Like, and off we go, and she just starts trotting, and the horse just starts squealing and grunting and
Oh,
jumping.
no.
And she's like, ee! Like, head going all over the place. And all I remember is my grandmother lets the fucking horse go because, you know, she's not sturdy.
It's like worst case scenario.
And I hear her yell out to me, hold on, Dana! That's all I That's all I heard. That's all I heard. And I thought, son of a bitch, come and get me. Like,
don't let go. Damn it.
like 13 years old, just holding on.
Oh my
Now,
God.
mind you, that horse is one of the best fucking trained things I ever owned. She's a great horse now. I just showed her like year before last, and she won everything she went in. She's fantastic.
Like a Sioux warrior.
I was like a friggin' breaking broncs in like
Back in the Indian days, they just
oh
hopped
my
on
god,
them, just
it was
rode.
like it was so mortifying. I'll never get her voice out of my ear when I heard her fall to the ground from letting the horse
Oh
go
my
and
God.
yell out, "Hang on, Dana!" I'll never not hear that in my voice. Like the day, God forbid, I mean it's gonna happen. We all croak at one point, but the day she passes away, that's gonna be the voice in the back of my head. Still to this day, every time a horse goes bugging on me, like gets
just
hot,
in your ear.
I hear it. Hang on, Dana! Every time, every fucking time. So that's
Love
just
that.
my life. So we gotta, for anybody that was interested that wrote in, because there was like 2 or 3 of you that wanted to know how my disaster of a human made it to this point in life. That's how. So we gotta thank Grandma.
God bless Grandma.
God bless Grandma. I gotta make her a t-shirt that just says "Hang on, Dana,"
Hang on.
because that I'll never forget. She's disgusting. She's perverted. She's a wonderful human being. She's given
She
me
sounds
all.
like a perfect lady.
She is just my kind of woman. Me and her were soulmates. That's just
That's
how it
so cute.
how it went. So, but all right, guys. So that's my story. Bizarre life that we live, and we found out this month that we are not family friendly. And what else is new? That's
Never gonna
about
be.
it. We
That
got to
is
find Jenn a
what it
horse
is.
here. We got some good ones. We got to post it when we get it, but we got to hide it.
Yeah.
So we got to do it
It'll
secretly.
be low key.
Low key post it. All right, guys, thank you so much. We're glad we're growing. We appreciate everyone so much. We're going to have another cool interview for you guys pretty soon. We're not telling you who it is. And we will see you next week.
All right.
Bye.